YouTube, hey. Okay, sorry. I'm kind of excited. But anyway, I just had some sugar. And I even have like a Twix bar here. I'm like totally like sugar high. But anyway, this is my reaction to Arrow, Season 4, Episode 11, titled A.W.O.L, and that has like dots in between, you know, it's like an abbreviation kind of thing. But anyway, let's start this off. Felicity. You guys remember, Felicity in the last episode was going in and out of surgery, and we also found out that, hang on. We find out that Felicity is, paralyzed, waist down, and, you know, she comes home from the hospital, and she's pretty much trying to figure out what her place is on the team now that she's a paraplegic, and, I do feel really sorry for her about that, because, you know, but not gonna lie to you, the whole time she was on the team, Felicity never really saw much action, you know what I mean? She didn't really go on the field or anything like that, so I know it's not really a good thing to say that, you know, what's the difference now that she's paraplegic? She's still in the chair, but like, she wasn't really on the field. I mean, the people on the field were mainly, you know, Oliver, Thea, Laurel, and Diggle, and sometimes Diggle's wife, Lila, was on the field, but she wasn't really on the field. There was like only a few times she was out in the field, like, remember when she saved Sarah from being shot? I forgot what season that was, but she was always like behind the scenes. She was always behind a computer regardless, but I can see how she's still kind of traumatized by, you know, being paraplegic and wondering what's her usefulness now. I don't really blame her on that, but technically she would still be behind the scenes like she always is, you know, behind her computers. But anyway, let's continue on. Diggle and Lila, they're pretty much on a date when a random Argus agent, who apparently Lila knew, comes out of nowhere and tells them that he's been compromised and he needs Lila's help. But before they could really do anything, he ends up being kidnapped by like a group of people in a van before he could really tell Diggle and Lila anything, any information. And considering this guy is an Argus agent, Diggle and Lila, they end up going to Amanda Waller, who they're like, what's going on? This poor agent said that he is compromised. He was just kidnapped. And the only reason why he'd be like on a mission is like you put him on a mission off the books, right? And Amanda Waller is like pretty much denying any knowledge of what happened to this poor agent. But she manages to give Lila a portable hard drive that pretty much reveals that this poor innocent little, I wouldn't say innocent, but this poor agent from Argus pretty much was kidnapped by a group of people from an organization known as Shadowspire. And Shadowspire I actually looked up because it does sound familiar, and it actually is a fictional criminal organization that does appear in DC Comics. And hang on. Apparently in the comics, the leader's name is Baron Blitzkrieg, and there are apparently 4 agents here. 2 of them have the same last name, named Morn. One of them is Calderescu and Steelhawk. I don't know much about it, but apparently, Shadowspire the group in the comics first appeared in a Deathstroke comic, Deathstroke number 53, in 1995. So, I thought it was pretty interesting that this appeared, and, the only operatives in the comics, you know, Baron Blitzkrieg, also known as Baron Raider, guys, I'll come back to that, but, there are other ones like Cotoresco is apparently a psychic illusionist, and then there's a person named Morn who was an armored and enhanced field operative, and then there's a secondary one where Shadowspire reformed apparently in San Francisco. Another person by the name of Morn appeared and became like a front agent wearing like a similar armor to the original, and then there's another person named Steelhawk who was like an armored flying man. And, of course, there's Baron Blitzkrieg, a.k.a. Baron Raider. You guys remember Raider in is in Arrow. But Baron Raider, also known as the Chief of Shadows, basically is his title in the organization. He's the head of Shadowspire, but also seemed to be allied with something called the Symbolics Corporation. I don't know. It's in the Damage Comic 1 thing. I don't know, but the fact that the leader of Shadowspire in the comics is someone named Baron Blitzkrieg, who also goes by the name of Baron Raider, is very interesting to me. But I thought it was very interesting to the fact that Shadowspire, the actual organization, actually appears in a Deathstroke comic. So not only is the leader in the comic of Shadowspire Raider, the same guy we've been seeing in flashbacks here in Arrow, Shadowspire appeared in a Deathstroke comic. Are we going to see another appearance of Deathstroke? Maybe, maybe not. But anyway, I'll get more into that later in my theory video. I'm definitely gonna have a theory about that, but anyway. Oliver and Diggle, they actually recognized the name of it, which not surprising considering Raider is in a flashback with Oliver on the island, and Diggle recognizes it apparently because he first met that particular group in Afghanistan, and apparently that group were war profiteers, and he met that group in Afghanistan with his brother Andy. So basically Diggle is all asking Andy's help to try to track down Shadowspire, and with Andy's help the team manages to track down Shadowspire. And seeing the flashback though with the Diggle brothers in Afghanistan was kind of interesting, because I thought maybe it could be like a flashback on how maybe Andy went down a little deep spiral of bad stuff. Maybe that's what I believe. But like in the first flashbacks of the Diggle brothers, you see that Andy refuses to, you know, work with these war profiteers because, you know, he thinks kind of like Diggle, you know, he wants to help people, not deal with those kind of bad people. But anyway, going back to them finding Shadowspire, Oliver pretty much pressures Felicity to help them while they're on the mission. And during all that, Felicity actually ends up having hallucinations about her younger self, hence the return of Gothic Felicity. Hey! And I thought it was really interesting that, you know, we see pretty much Felicity fighting with herself, you know, fighting with what she used to be. As it was an interesting thing, I'm not gonna lie. It was I was starting to worry about Felicity, why she's having hallucinations, but I'm guessing she's getting those hallucinations because she keeps popping pills and stuff like that. But a part of me kept thinking that maybe, you know, I don't know, maybe there might be something mentally wrong with her because she's having hallucinations. But anyway, because of her hallucinations with her younger goth self, she pretty much struggles under pressure and all that stuff. And because she's all struggling, while she's helping them hack stuff, she apparently missed something that ended up triggering, like, I think maybe like a silent alarm. Was it a silent alarm that ended up getting triggered? But anyway, like, because that thing got triggered, Oliver and Diggle got separated by like a wall, right? And Diggle was surrounded, and Diggle was almost killed, if not, you know, Oliver broke through and saved him. And Felicity, she's like even more down in the dumps because she believed that Diggle almost got killed because of her, and I feel kind of really bad for her for that. But, you know, honestly, it's not her fault. She's still traumatized from getting shot. She's paraplegic. This is like an episode where you really start to feel for Felicity. It's like, Felicity, I want to hug you right now. I literally want to hug and kiss you right now. That's basically what I'm feeling right now. But anyway, while they're trying to track down Shadowspire, it leads Laurel, Thea, and Oliver to a trucking area. And this is the cool thing. When you look closely at the trucks, all of the trucks there actually say Cord Industries. If you guys don't remember who Cord is, Ted Cord is the, well, I want to say the original, but Ted Kord is the name of a very well-known person from the Justice League known as Blue Beetle. I believe Ted Kord was the second Blue Beetle. If I remember correctly, in the comics, there were 3 people that held the name Blue Beetle. The third one is Jaime Reyes. For sure, I remember the third person to be called Blue Beetle is Jaime Reyes. And if you remember correctly, Jaime Reyes, who was the third Blue Beetle, was very known for being a Teen Titan. Ted Kord, I believe, was the Blue Beetle directly before Jaime, so he could possibly be the second one. But yes, Ted Kord was a Blue Beetle, and he was part of the Justice League. So I thought that was a pretty cool name drop when you see Laurel, Oliver, and Thea actually trying to find Shadowspire, and you see those trucks saying Kord Industries. And if I remember correctly, I'm not sure if it was the creators of A.W.O.L, but originally they wanted Ted Kord to be the one on the show instead of the Atom. And instead they opted to choose the Atom instead of Blue Beetle. But I like the fact that they still incorporated Ted Kord somewhere in there in the form of those trucks. But while that's happening, Diggle and Lila took Andy to Argus. He's in a jail cell, don't worry. And basically Lila's helping Amanda Waller track down Shadowspire, and Diggle's with his brother near the cell. And unfortunately, whatever Team Arrow was doing was a distraction, while Shadowspire actually wanted to go in Argus. So they ended up infiltrating Argus, apparently looking for an access code called Rubicon access code. And they infiltrated Argus to do that. And unfortunately, you know, with Lila and Amanda there where all the action is, Diggle's with his brother down below. Crazy thing is, they managed to kill Amanda Waller. That's right, Shadowspire not only infiltrated Argus to get a Rubicon access code, they killed Amanda Waller. I know this is really shock considering Amanda Waller has been fairly pivotal in DC Comics. You see her a lot in DC Comic animated series like the Justice League Unlimited. Hell, you even see her in Batman Beyond, for Christ's sake. So, she's quite pivotal, and you know, with the upcoming DC movies coming up like Suicide Squad, she's there. Everyone knows Amanda Waller is notorious for Suicide Squad. And it's been shown in, again, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. It's even been shown, somewhat mentioned in Batman Beyond, and even in DC animated movies, it's been mentioned a lot for Amanda Waller. So for Amanda Waller here on Arrow to get killed, it's been a headshot too. If you saw the shot, it was a literal headshot. I was literally in shock that they killed someone very well known in DC Comics in this show. I'm just saying, it's almost like killing Oliver in a way, because everyone knows Oliver Queen, everyone knows Green Arrow. He's very pivotal in DC. So, killing Amanda Waller is just, I was absolutely shocked. But I'm not surprised that they ended up killing Amanda Waller, because she refused to help Shadowspire get the Rubicon access code. So, of course, if you refuse to help, boom, there you go. But anyway, Diggle, who managed to learn a few things from Felicity, manages to send a stream over to Felicity about what was going on in Argus, and Felicity manages to send that over to Oliver, Thea, and Laurel, and because of that, Oliver and the team managed to go to Argus with Felicity, with the help of Felicity, enter Argus and pretty much stop Shadowspire. And I'm running out of time right now. I'll continue this in a second video where more thoughts about, basically I will finish off what I thought the rest of the show, but I also have more in-depth thoughts about any other thing like Diggle's brother, Shadowspire, and the death of Amanda Waller. So I'll see you guys in the next video, okay?